Hi, second grade friends. It's Leah here. Today we're going to check the San Francisco government website for more information about coronavirus. Last week we studied cause and effect, and we know that when something happens, there's often something else that happens as a result of it. So, because of the spread of coronavirus, the effect is we're being asked to stay home to save lives. Let's find out more information about what we can do to help stop the spread of coronavirus. This information was last updated on Friday, April 17th at 2 o'clock p.m. What's really great is that the San Francisco government website also included this letter in other languages so that everyone can access important information. So when I'm looking at this website, I notice that I have a title and I have headers here. And headers or subtitles tell me what this section's about. So this whole section looks like it's about what to do to stop the spread of coronavirus. So the first thing that we can do is to stay home except for essential needs. So everyone is required to stay home except to get food, to care for a relative or friend, to get necessary health care, or to go to an essential job. The second strategy for stopping the spread of coronavirus is to go out only for essentials. So if you do need to go out, you must stay 6 feet apart from other people and wear a face covering. And this looks like that because it's a link to another web page that tells you more about wearing a face covering in public. You are now required to wear something to cover your face when you're shopping, taking transit, that's like a bus, or getting healthcare. You do not need to stay 6 feet apart from people who live in your household, and you may walk, bike, or go for a run near your home. But if you need to get into a car or on public transportation to go for a walk or a run, you're going too far. The second strategy, this is actually the third strategy, is look out for one another. So, older adults and people with health conditions are more vulnerable to the virus. So, you want to check in on those people, call them, email them, you can talk to them through a door, but you want to try to limit, which means only do it when it's absolutely necessary, face-to-face interactions with anyone who's particularly vulnerable to coronavirus. The last section talks about enforcement. And so what that means is what happens when you break the rule. And it says we only get one chance to slow the spread of coronavirus. The next few weeks are critical, meaning very important, to preventing our hospitals from being overwhelmed. So the city will be strictly enforcing the order to stay safe at home. And if you break the rule, you can get a fine or there could be a stricter consequence. The next section, the next subtitle says updated health order. So all of the information in this next section talks about what we need to do to continue to slow the spread of the virus and save lives. So the first one is social distancing requirements are mandatory, meaning that are not optional. Using playgrounds, outdoor gym equipment, picnic areas, and barbecue areas are not allowed. Prohibited means not allowed. Use of enclosed dog parks is prohibited, which means not allowed, but open spaces that allow dogs like Chrissy Field are open. So you can take your dogs to grass fields and make sure that you stay 6 feet apart from other people. Use of shared recreational facilities like golf courses, tennis courts, basketball courts, and climbing walls is not allowed. Sports or activities that include the use of shared equipment, like a frisbee, a basketball, or soccer, may only be engaged in members of the same household. Businesses that supply products needed for people to work from home are no longer essential businesses. And so those people need to stay at home also. Essential businesses like grocery stores, banks, and pharmacies are still open, and employees who can work from home at those places should do so. If you scroll down here, it talks more about people who are 60 or over, should really care for each other. There's more information about how to care for your neighbors, how to stay healthy for older adults. And when you're going out, please make sure you're only going to get food items like food and medicine. It says limit the amount of time you're out of the house and only have one person go out. And that's really to limit crowds and places from not becoming too crowded. Wearing a face covering is now um, a rule. So if you must go to essential services like the grocery store or the hospital, cover your face. You can use a bandana, a scarf, but please use masks that are supposed to be used for healthcare workers to those healthcare workers. It says do not visit friends or family if there's no urgent need. And remembering to stay 6 feet apart. We know that already. It says do not travel unless you have to for essential activities or business. Um, and try to order delivery whenever possible. Do not go to the emergency room or hospital unless you are having an actual emergency. Um, and all schools are still closed. All right. Now we're going to respond on a Padlet to the question, in what ways can we be responsible members of our community? What did we learn from the website that we just read together? And how can we do those things so that we can slow the spread of coronavirus? So the first thing I do when I get to the Padlet is I'm going to double click on the screen and my pad shows up. So in the title, I'm going to put my name, and then underneath, I'm going to write my ideas for ways that I can be responsible when to stop this spread of coronavirus. So number one, I can stay home, right? So I'm not going shopping for clothes or walking around Target or doing things that I don't really need to be doing. The second thing is wear a face covering when I'm in public to protect myself and others. The third thing that I can do, what else can I do? Super Scrolls, tell me what ideas you have for staying safe and being responsible.